Hi, welcome to Creating with Shannon, Pick and Boost Vintage Market. I am here today because we're going to do a fun project. My youngest is graduating high school, and it's time to get started on some fun crafts. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see. I'm going to pull up the comments. So when you're on and you can hear me and everything, give me a thumbs up. And that'll let me know that you are here. So I'm coming to you from my house. Normally I do my lives from picking boots at the shop, but when I do Creating with Shannon, I'm at home. My YouTube, this is also streaming to my YouTube right now. So it's also, I do both of them on my YouTube. I'm not doing two separate YouTubes, but I have two separate Facebooks. Hey, Michaela. Hey, oh gosh, Lord Joe, love it. Diana, thanks for joining me. Okay, so I have some awesome new products that I want to share with you. I do have them in the shop. They're not quite loaded on my website yet, but they will be. I need to get a dedicated person for my Shopify, and that right now is me, and I've got just a lot going on. I just got back from the Flourish conference in California. That was amazing. I met some awesome people. I am finishing up editing my video from my trip. It's a short 10-minute video talking about what I did when I went out to California and went to the Flourish conference and all that. Michaela, I know where you are and I'm totally jealous. I hope you have something that has a lime or a lemon in it. All right, so basically, let me share my screen. This is my buddy. He is a senior and he's graduating in less than 3 weeks. Yeah, he's my youngest, so that's going to be hard. Pretty soon it's going to be empty nest, but we're right in the process of finalizing college and all that fun stuff. If you have children that are older, then you know exactly what I'm dealing with right now. But this is my third one going through, so we know we have a little bit of experience on that. So real quick, let me just show you these frames that I have here. These are new. They are called layered frames, and they're by Snipart. Different sizes. And the cool thing is, I took one out, I was playing with it. It's the HDF. I'm just going to rip that. And it has all these parts. So it has this part, and then it has, thank you guys. And then the next, I think it goes this way. And then the next layer on top of it. And then the fancy cutout layer. And then the little teeny thing right here, a little frame to frame it in. And obviously you would take that part out. And you would remove this part too. Let me just go ahead and do that. Though I will, of course, save these because you never know when you might need something else, right? All right, so look how fun that is. And do you have to use all the parts? No. Like this might be too much, 2 of these, so I could just use these 3 if I wanted. I could do, whatever. I could make 2 frames out of it. I could do that, and then I could do this one over here. But for today's purposes, we're going to do probably all the layers. Why not? So basically, what I'm creating, here's the other one real quick. This is nice too, but it's a smaller opening. I need a bigger opening because this is my buddy's picture. This, I'm going to have to get it resized because when I put it in the frame, I can't really see. I guess I don't need to see the 2023. I can always just do it with some letters or something. But I kind of wanted to have his high school is the year and his cute little face. But if I do that, then I miss up all here. So what I'll probably do is I'll just get another printed. But we're definitely going to start and finish the frame. Now, my ultimate goal for this is I have a bunch of his little, look at this, how handsome is this little guy. His little pictures from all over the years. So I have kindergarten through senior year laid out. And I'm either going to, I haven't quite decided yet. Oops, I just ripped that one. So let's go. I'm either going to cast a bunch of resin frames and then just put his little face in there. But these frames are a little small. I might have to I might have to make these smaller. These are the smallest size pictures I have for him. But another thing is I thought of is all of these frames, they have the center in them. I just have this one cut out. So what I might do is I just might use my copy printer, print them out, and then I can just decoupage them on here, and then I could put them all on. Now if they're decoupaged on, they'll last. If I do it like this, aw, I can't believe it. He's old. All right, so this will be for another day though. We're gonna do the frame today. If you caught my live Monday, I was on the Iron Orchid design page and also this my YouTube channel. So yeah, I maybe turn it sideways. That's a good idea. Yeah. Aw. I did some cute for Mother's Day. These are just some old. These were candles, and they were cleaned out, and then now I have a bunch of these. Thanks, Jen. Now you know why I was kind of short with the email. I was prepping. So that's this one. This is really cute because you just put the little candle in here. Like I don't have it right here, but one of those, the tea lights that light up, you know, the battery powered ones, those would be cute in there. And then I did two other ones. These are with the transfers too, but I used the Mirror Mist by Pentart, and I made this one look like mercury glass. The Mirror Mist it does look a lot like the mercury glass. And this one here though, I ended up painting with the black paint. So this one looks more like a mirror. I need to get these pictures up on the Creative Tribe so people can see how they turned out. But then, because I can never just, oh, thanks. I can never do just one project. I did this one. This is with the molds. And I started to paint it. And this is with the He Loves Me mold. The same glass jars. Then I did this one too. And I was going to paint this live. And this was what I was going to do today. But I thought, how boring would it be for you all to sit there and watch me paint? I can do that off camera, and I can just take pictures and share it when I'm done. All right, so let's get back to this. Now we have 4 layers. And according to his little picture here, his school colors are black and gold. So I have some gold, as close to gold as I can get with this paint, and then some black. And then I'm going to have some decoupage paper. So I'm going to do each layer something different. And then on this little teeny part, I thought it'd be really fun to use the velvet powder on it. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Now the part that's going to take the most time, I believe, will be this part. Because I'm going to have to first paint it black. Then it's going to have to dry. And then I'm going to have to put the tacky glue on so I can put the velvet powder on. So we're going to start with this first. And so I'm just going to grab let's see. I'm looking for a brush that's not too big but not too small. All right, so let's do this part black. Whenever you're using like the velvet powder, I've found, and I've heard other people agree with me, that you always want to use, or not agree with me, actually, I learned it from them, so I agree with them. You want to use the color paint underneath that you're going to use of the velvet powder. It just looks like it's better coverage. So I'm going to be using the black. So I'm going to use some black paint. And just a fair warning, I am home. I have 2 dogs sitting under my desk here. The bigger one keeps stretching and moaning. I have a cat sitting over here in the window. My daughter's home from college, and my senior should be getting home from school in a little bit. So things could get chaotic, or they might just stay calm. I just never know. So I'm just preparing y'all just in case. All right. So, and this doesn't have to be like an exact perfect layer. It's just kind of like a base, just because when we put the velvet powder over it, we want to make sure that it's it has enough underneath, so the velvet powder doesn't show any holes, like so the browns that come through. I forgot to put water in my, so I'm just gonna spritz it real quick. I have this awesome jar. Look at this. In here in the middle, there's a little screen. So when I stick my paintbrush in, I can kind of rub it. Generally, there's water in there though. Rub it and it gets all the paint glumps off. So that is really cool. This is it's by Mona Lisa. I sell them, and I'm sure a lot of the other decoupage queen retailers sell them too. Okay, so now I have some other layers that I need to think about. What my plan was I was going to paint this one black, decoupage this one with this fun paper, then paint this yellow, and then put the velvet one on top. So, or should I decoupage the bigger one, black, yellow? I was just wondering, because this is a pattern. I don't know if this should be in the very back or if it should be in the middle between the black and the... Okay, Michaela, I hear ya. Enjoy. Let's go with... I can always change it up if I don't like it, because that's how easy everything is. Especially with all this paint. If you're doing something, you start it, you don't like it, you just paint over it, or you just decoupage over it. Everybody always tells me, "Why are you not scared?" I'm like, well, because I can always just change it. All right, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna look at it one more time. If I paint this yellow, I want it to go over. Yeah, I'm gonna do the middle black, and we're gonna decoupage the very, very back. So I'm just gonna go ahead and paint this black since I already have the paintbrush out. Snipart has all kinds of different kits, frames. They have, let's see, what did I do? I did the the bunny, the Snipart bunny. Teresa from Teresa Renee Art, she did that sewing machine. I believe I shared it. That was pretty cool. But there's just so much, and there's always new ones coming out. This paint generally tends to dry pretty fast on these too. So we're going to paint this one. We're going to decoupage one. And then this one we're going to go with the yellow. And I'm choosing these colors, again, clearly because these are his school's colors. Still hard to believe that he is graduating. He's always been Little Vinny, because he's got 2 older sisters and an older brother, so... I might do 2 coats on here. I'm not sure. I'll see what it looks like when it's dried. I'm really excited to put this together. I was digging out all of his pictures from kindergarten, first grade, and everything, and it's just so crazy how fast time goes. I feel like I was just graduating. I wish. Oh boy. Okay, so that coat is on. So I'm just going to stick this over to the side to dry. And let's go ahead. And normally you want to paint these white underneath so this pops through. I'm kind of looking at it, and it's not bad. I don't want it to be too bright because it's already bright enough, and I don't... So you know what? I'm just going to make the executive decision, and I'm not going to paint it. It does have a little bit of that brown coming through, but to me it kind of looks like that, like the yellow, so it will kind of blend with his school color. So that's what we're going to do. So let me get my decoupage medium out, and I just have, this is by Art, and it's the matte. Could I trace it? I could absolutely turn this over, trace it, cut it out, but no, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on, and then I'm going to use a little sander and sand around it. Though it'll be tricky around the edges. I might just take my wet pen and do that. We'll see. There's so many options. Okay, I want to make sure. Okay, so I'm just going to apply my decoupage medium. I want to try to make sure I have an even coat. Sometimes when you have too much decoupage medium in one area, that's where you tend to get a little bit more wrinkles. Something this size, though, you don't really get that many wrinkles. Just in case the HDF absorbs some of the decoupage medium, I'm just making sure that I have every area covered and there's enough on there for the paper to stay. All right, that aside, and I don't want to turn it. I thought about turning it this way, but then my design will be messed up, so I'm going to just go ahead and do it this way still. Starting at the top and working my way down the sides to try to make sure it's nice and even without any wrinkles. Cover that up. Come back to that in a minute. So now what I want to do is I'm just going to take the wet pen. This just has water in it. And I'm just going to trace the edge real quick. This should make the paper tear really easy. See? I could do that. That's one way to do it. Where's mine? I have one of these blades. I can just trace around along the edge. This works great on the inside because it's a even. Oops, remove that. It's an even edge, but like on the outside of the frame, it's a little bit more decorative. So this is not going to work out there. Oops, I'm into the part where I got it wet. Just want to make sure it doesn't tear. There we go. And I'm still going to sand around the edge. This is just to get the main part off. Oops, I got one little section left. There we go. Okay. And now I can save this piece for something else. All right, so where I put my water, it's a little bit frayed, but where I use this X-Acto knife, it's a little bit more clean cut. But we're still going to go back and we're going to sand the edges. I was just looking for, there's the cap. This is so sharp. I want to cover it. All right, so, and then I just have this little sander. You can use whatever sander you have. You can use sandpaper, this little sand block, but I like this little guy. Trick is to go down. Down, down. One time I said up, down, and I was corrected. I literally meant just go down, but you have to come back up. So now I'm very careful that I say just go down. I guess it's interpreted that you have to come back up. All right. Looks good. Let me get right here where the edge is frayed just a hair. There we go. Pull off the loose ends. And one more little. There we go. All right, so that is the center of our frame. That's going to look good. I love it. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and do our edge. I'm going to try this, make sure it works okay. And I'm going down. Because it's, the edge is a little bit decorative, it might take a little bit more time. Definitely don't want to rush it because you don't want to tear your paper. I'm just going to tear that up right there. Starting to take shape. See how pretty that is? Very nice. And it's fairly easy to decoupage it. I would say the most time-consuming part would be just getting the excess off, but you know, again, you can trace it and then cut it out too if you want. That's totally up to you. But for me, I prefer to just go ahead and sand the edge off. Then after this is done, hey Joan, it's Wisconsin, nice. I used to live just north of Chicago, kind of near the Wisconsin line. Okay, getting closer. This paper, if you're curious, it's by AB Studios. It's number 84. Makes a nice background. Oops. Okay, so when I pulled this, I pulled a little bit too much. See the edge here? So what I need to do is I'm going to just take that piece of paper where I pulled. I'm just going to tear it off. I'm going to set it to the side because once I get done sanding it, I'm just going to glue it back on with the decoupage paper or decoupage glue. I get impatient sometimes and try to force it, and that's what happens when you don't have patience. All right. Oh, Kenosha. Okay, yeah, so that's right there too. Is it still cold up there? I just remember how cold it used to get during the winter up there. Whew. Okay, so look, see how cute that is? I'm just going to give it a once over and make sure that I've got all the little pieces off. There's some nooks and crannies here, so I want to make sure I get in there. Like here, I missed a whole little corner. Okay, so I'm done with that. What I'm going to do now is I want to put my second layer of the decoupage medium on, but I'm also going to put this piece back on. The one that I ripped off by accident. So I'm just going to do that first. I'm just going to cut this little frayed edge here. All right. Good as new. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and my second coat on here of the decoupage medium. I'm going to make sure I focus on the edge just to make sure that none of the paper is going to lift off. And I'm using the matte, so it won't be really shiny or anything. Again, making sure the edges are done well. Don't want any of them to come up. There's one little edge there. All right. So we'll let that dry. Okay, so now we need to go back to this part, this one right here, because we have to put the tacky glue on, because the tacky glue is what's going to hold the velvet powder on. But we have to make sure, oh, 65 is beautiful, very nice. We have to make sure that the tacky glue is ready and tacked before we can put the velvet powder on. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm using the Snipart Decor Glue Tacky. And there's other kind of glues you can use too, but this is just one that I like to use here. So I'm going to just put it on the top here. I'm not going to go around on the sides. Actually, let me just zoom you in a little bit. There we go. Now you can kind of see better maybe. And I'm simply going to just put it right on this frame. It goes on white and then we'll dry clear. This is the same kind of glue you would use for gold leaf or decor foils. You can use it for the glitter too. Oops. Again, I'm just going to put a little bit on, just on the top part, because that's where I'm going to put the velvet powder. I'm doing it now so that way it can tack up so we can get that velvet powder on. There we go. I want to make sure it's thick enough to adhere a lot of the velvet powder, but I don't want to put it on too thick where it's going to take 5 hours to dry. So I'm just going to go back around, make sure I have a kind of an even coat around. It's already tacking up. I can feel it sticking to my fingers. So hopefully this won't take too long. I have to go back and make sure that I get the glue where I'm putting my fingers because it seems to come off where my fingers are. Okay, so put that in the water. Well, we'll let that tack up for a minute. So when that's tacking up, we're going to put the second coat of this on here. I'm going to zoom back out. That's kind of close. Hear my puppy? He went in the pool earlier, so he's tired. He's stretching. Oh, they have such rough lives, those puppies, don't they? All right. Definitely think that this needs a second coat. I can see the HDF board underneath. And I'm just using an all-in-one paint. So it's got the built-in sealer, so I won't have to seal it. It goes on really nice. So when I was out in California, attending the Iron Orchid Designs Stockist Conference, what a fun event that was. Met a lot of nice people. A lot of people I knew, but I've never met in person. So that was fun to meet him in person. So. All right. So we'll let that dry. Make sure there's no streaks. There we go. All right. Now the last thing we do before we put the velvet on and glue it all together is we need to do the decorative piece. Let me just get all this black out of the way first. And off of my fingers. We're going to do this in this yellow color because his school colors are black and gold. Now this is really intricate. Sometimes for me it's hard. I tend to get the paint in and dripping all over, so I'm going to take my time and go try to make sure I do a, oops, that's not the garbage, do a pretty coverage on this. Let's see, I'm going to use this one. Kind of has a pointy. Ooh, that is tacky. All right. Yeah, that looks nice. It's almost the color of the HDF. This paint goes on the Snipart frame very evenly and very nicely. Probably, I might need 2 coats. We'll see what it looks like when it's dry. Depends on how it pops off that black. Again, I do have these at the shop, and they're not currently on my website, but I can get them on there for sure, especially if people are interested. They're $14. They're not bad, and they're very, they're really cute. And of course, you can use them for whatever you're making. See how cute that is. It's a nice color, right? This is actually Prairie Sunset by Fusion. That's what this little color is right here. Looks a lot brighter on camera than it is right here in person. I actually like the way it looks on camera way better. All right. Okay, just a little bit more. And then we're going to go ahead and put the velvet powder on the mini part of the frame. This sure is intricate. I wonder how long it takes to cut these out. I'm sure it's done on one of those big machines. What are they called? I forget. I think, like, I know you could buy your own personal Glowforge, but I'm sure there's bigger machines that the bigger companies use. It's amazing how they can cut out with such detail. Okay, so there's that layer. It's coming together. And if one of the layers I don't like, I can always change it. That's the easy part. Okay, so here is the, we're going to do the velvet powder. It's stuck to me though right now. Let's go ahead and I'm going to put it front and center of the camera. Move this. So we're going to be using velvet powder. Now this stuff is a lot of fun. It can be messy. So I'm going to get a little piece of paper here, and now that's got writing all over it. See if I have anything. Let's just use the back. Use the back of this stencil. Now you can do it like this and just poof it out. Actually, let me lift this up so you can maybe see it better. The reason I have this underneath is because you can reuse it. Now, because it's such a little frame, this poof thing, really, it kind of gets it pretty good, but I'm going to pop the top off and get it to come out faster. There we go. Because I can always put it right back in the container. Let me show you. There we go. Now it's coming out. Can you see that? Hi, Boots. I have a rescue kitty. He's yelling at me. I think he's hungry. Well, not yelling. He's meowing at me. My aim is not that good. I'm missing part. When I'm trying to pour this on, there's missing part of the frame. Now this is actual velvet, so it comes out in some chunks, which is kind of neat. So I'm just going to cover the frame, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to push it in. Generally you push it in with like a paintbrush, but I might use my finger. We'll see. So there, it looks like a hot mess right there. But I'm going to take this brush. I'm just going to kind of just push it in, make sure it sticks to that glue. Got a white thing there. Okay. So I'm just pushing it into the glue, make sure it's in the glue. There's a little area that doesn't have any, so I'm just going to stick some. There we go. And there's not always 100% coverage when you put the velvet powder on. That's why you paint the underneath part black. Shake that off. And now we have, oops. Can you see the velvet? Look how cute that is. Yes, it's a little bit messy, but it's velvet. It's fun. Okay. So what I can do is I can just put this right back in the bottle. I'm going to try to do it right here. Yep. Missed a little bit, but that's okay. I'll clean that up later. Okay, so let's assemble our, yes, I said velvet powder. Yep. It comes in all different colors. Like there's yellow, there's red, there's white, there's green, there's turquoise, there's navy, tons of colors. And I know I have those on my website right now. Okay, so let's start assembling it and let's just see what it looks like. So this is our base layer. We decoupage this. Then we painted the next layer of black. So you really don't see much of the decoupage paper. Then we did our frame, our cutout stencil issue frame part in yellow. Ooh, I like it. Now we have our final touch of the black velvet. And I love it. I don't think it could have came out any prettier. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is some of it's still wet. And I need to put one more coat of the yellow on. But this gives you an idea of what these little Snipart layered frames are. Again, I have them in two. I have this one, and then I have this one. They're $14, and I'll get them on my website within the next 30 minutes because I think I only have like I have 4 of each, I believe, because anyway, these are fun. These are cool. Again, and then all I'll simply do is I'll just glue it. And I can use whatever parts I want to use. I don't have to use all 4. I can. Look at that. Oops. Still a little tacky part right there. Look how cute that came out. And then when I get his little picture into there. Thanks, Lorraine. Then once I get his picture with his little graduation, his school on there, it'll all match. But I need to get a better picture. This one just does not fit my frame. I thought it was going to fit perfect, but it doesn't. So I'm just going to reprint it in him smaller with a bigger background. But once I get that done, I will post pictures on Creating with Shannon Facebook page, and I might even share it with Pickin' Boots. Again, for those of you that are new to following me, I'm a vintage store owner. I own Pick and Boots Vintage, but that's normally mostly furniture and DIY stuff. This channel, Creating with Shannon, is more crafty, decoupage, small projects like thrift flips, smaller things. So feel free to join me on both pages if you want, but always all of those two pages of Facebook will be on YouTube together. Thanks, Joan. Doesn't it look cool? And I was really worried about this paper, but it works out well. It layers well. So if you think anybody might like this, please share it. That helps us creators grow. And I just want to say thank you for joining me, and you guys have a fabulous day. If you have any questions about what I used today, I'm going to go back and put it in the comments, but I'll make sure it's on my website too. You can email me, text me, whatever, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, especially with the pent art, like the velvet powders and the tacky glue. There's just so much. So much. But it's nice to have the home studio now because I have all the little stuff here. It's just fun, so I can work here and work at the shop. All right, you guys, have a fabulous day. I'm going to put this up though because Joan took the time to say it looks awesome. All right, have a fabulous day, and I will see you next time. You know what I should say? If I did send out a text. So if you got the text, is that it? No. No, I have these little things here that I have pre-made. No, well, there's a text number that you can text to get notified when I go live. I always come on Thursdays at 1:45, except for last week because I was in California. But I'll be on at 1:45, and if not, if I do an impromptu, I always send a text. Oh, here it is. All you have to do is text the word create to 833-645-0412, and that way you get notification. Even if you can't watch it, you'll know there's a new video and you can catch it on the replay. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry, Joan. It's Creating with Shannon is on Facebook. My YouTube is both of them together, but Facebook I have two separate pages. Just because with the store and everything, I don't want to it's just too much with the store and furniture and stuff. So I thought this would be a little bit more intimate because it's in my own home, and obviously you can tell I'm not really put together today, but so that's why I have this one too. All right, you guys